Hey, how's it going, man? Tamar here. Been asked a question, and this is how these things work with actual patents. And a lot of people have to even know and understand how this works because it isn't the first time I've been asked this question, but it needs to be addressed. All right. Just because Angry Man sold the actual concept to a guy, he didn't do anything with the concept. There's nothing going on blackmanosphere.com. Like if you type in blackmanosphere.com, it's a parked domain name with no website attached to it. So when you go off and you patent something, and you patent something, you can't patent something that predated you because there was a Black Manosphere before Angry Man was here. So Angry Man doesn't he can say what can go on a specific website, but he can't patent the Black Manosphere as a concept for men discussing their actual issues online. That's nothing that you can patent. I mean, because we know Angry Man didn't want any type of progress for black men. He only wanted progress for himself, right? So it's his right to sell whatever he wants to sell to a guy who doesn't understand what he's actually buying. Because this shit is easy to actually challenge. Because the guy has to prove that he actually bought up the particular name in order to do exactly what he said the patent's for. You can't just have a patent for something and then not do shit with it. So like, oh, if you're gonna be the pattern of a Black Manosphere, and like, no, he's the owner of BlackManosphere.com. That has nothing to do with the Black Manosphere period. Doesn't have nothing to do with 1.0, 2.0, 3.0. Like you can't patent concepts like that. It doesn't even work that way. Like the only thing you have to do is what's going on is going on, Rob T. Like the only thing you have to do is like talk to a patent attorney. Now, I don't have to talk to one because I already knew this stuff. Like, I thought it was hilarious when it first happened because the guy bought a concept that he didn't understand. So all of this filing for this shit and all this, and then not doing anything with it. Like he was going to stop all progress and men from actually who donated time and energy to the space that you're just going to sell the name to a person so that way there cannot be any progress under the Black Manosphere is laughable. There's no way you would be able to defend that in court. And as soon as you go after somebody, they're just gonna take the patent away from you. Because remember, if you ain't doing shit with the actual concept, what would make you think that you have the money to fight for the actual concept that you're not even doing anything with? So that's why it just really doesn't affect me being the president of the Black Manosphere. I'm president of certain black men, not all of black men. Like a lot of these people just want to sit here and they want to sit here and talk about women. We have to be able to separate ourselves from those individuals who cannot stay away from talking about this women-based conversation. That's why it's important to have distinctions in separation. Because a lot of people just come to the table, they want to take a concept, they want to remix it into something that they want to remix it into, and then they want to leave. But you have to understand that right now there's not really anything that hasn't been said. These people want these consequences. Oh, that's what's up, Garfield Lawson. That's what's up. We get shout out to people in here. Sheet we here, LOM, Bishop, Useless Familiar, Rage Machine, Johnny Blaze, Rob T, Garfield Lawson. So this is why this is vitally important that people understand this. Like you can't patent or trademark the concept of people actually talking their issues out online. The only thing you have to prove in the case with this guy is that the Black Manosphere predated Angry Man. Case over, patent thrown out. Because you're going to have to prove why you actually bought it. Yes, that is something that you're going to have to prove in court. And were you actually planning on doing anything productive with the actual concept? So that's why you take the steps of becoming the president of the Black Manosphere. That's why you take the steps of actually kicking out all of the Bravo Alpha Novembers. Start kicking out all of the women-based conversations. Start kicking out all of these fake hood affiliated dudes. That's why you do all of that. So that way you legitimize the actual concept. What's going on, old man on the block? Uncle Stu, thanks for the $5 super chat. So it's like this. Is when you don't understand these things. And the misunderstanding is on purpose, by the way, because nobody wants to tell you how things work. And the whole idea is for you to just sit back and have you eat out of somebody's hands when I could just tell you, if you don't believe me, go contact a patent attorney for free. Open up the phone book, look up patent attorneys, and just have them explain to you exactly what I stated. It's called JR. Thanks for the 499 super chat. So you have to understand that, like me, like if I was to come out with my own subsegment of Christianity, I can't go out and actually patent or trademark that brand of Christianity, even though I came up with the concept. Why? Christianity is already a common thing already. And nobody can go out and trademark parts of Christianity that predated me even filing for an actual concept hundreds and thousands of years before I even done it. It's the same thing. It's just that most people don't understand these things at all. And they think they gonna be with some dish run away with the spoon bullshit by actually doing things that just not needed. Yes, you could have just bought the blackmanosphere.com, promote all these dumbass motherfuckers who actually don't want to bring any value to black men. Like, bro, you could do all that without even patenting the name. Patenting the name, you just wasted time on a process that doesn't need to be wasted. But at the end of the day, if you don't know how these things work, and you think you're just gonna run away with a name, and just because you file for it, like, yeah, patents get thrown out all the time, all the time, all the time. People always get sued for actual music. Whenever there's a beat that's similar, and they go to court, and even though you and I know the shit sounds similar and the same, the shit get thrown out. Why? Because it's a different song altogether, and these melodies are going to exist because they're on the same chords. So you just can't go out and thinking that you're actually doing something that's profitable by actually suing somebody. They're not going to overturn that, because the whole point of court is to stop these conversations from happening. Not so that way they can end up having more and more court cases on things that don't need to happen. But you have to understand, like, my whole goal wasn't getting me off the market. I was already off the marketplace. I can already do things for a living. I can already bring value to people. The point is the people who didn't want to bring any value to men or women within this actual space wanted to deliberately take it in a direction so that way it cannot do anything but benefit them. That's fine. The only thing you have to do is provide an actual alternative, which is actually not even that hard. But the bar is so low because the only thing they do is talk about women. Now you're starting to see dating coaches and all these relationship hucksters got to have some type of certification or something like that. I told you 5 years ago this shit was going to happen. They're going to see all these people making all this money because a lot of these people are here for resource generation. They don't really care about who get hurt. They don't care about none of that. They ain't got no skills. They want to hurry up and make as much money that they can off a bunch of broken men and get out of here. They don't care about bringing any type of value to the actual group itself. They're not capable of doing that. Why? They're consumers. They're not producers. They are consumers. So you have to understand that everything is now set in motion. The people who actually don't even care about men want to actually do the SBE thing to escort you into the very women that's going to cause you a lifetime of problems. You want to know why? They're suffering from the same problems right now from the same women. So why would they want to see younger men get to the money and not have any problems with problematic women? Why on earth would they want to create a situation like that? Remember, they farther up this hill of suffering the consequences from these actual people. So there's really no rationale for them to create successful men. Oh, they're concerned about the black boys. Trust me, they are concerned about the black boys. They don't want their black boys to end up with somebody like me, teaching them to bypass all these failed men and get straight to the money and separate. That's what they don't want. That's why they have to be stuck SBE. That's why they stuck having these fuck niggas of the round table actual discussions. It's literally not needed. What they're trying to do is create this relevance online that they cannot create in the neighborhoods that they live. in an online space where they can actually get away with the shit. Vulcanizing all of the space around bullshit conversations that don't need to happen. Giving their version of Patrice O'Neal, Cat Williams, or Corey Holcomb because these people ain't got no type of they don't have any type of relevance. So they have to do the nearest thing possible. But the patent process is not it's nothing you need to worry about. You think this guy's gonna sue, come in court, and try to shut down productive men? That's some shit you're gonna have to prove. You gotta come prove that you're here to do that. Yeah. But at the end of the day, most of these dudes are highly finished, they already done, and the only thing they can do is shut down progress. They want to make the woman the problem. She clearly isn't the problem, but they want to make her the actual problem itself. So that way there's no actual progress. Because what they don't want is they don't want competition. These men do not want competition. And they definitely don't want to hear from the youth. They don't want to hear the youth getting to the money and the only thing that they have is they don't have access to sex. Yeah, so what they do is they come in and they give them access or fake information to get access to somebody that's going to destroy their life. But there's a different way now. Everybody knows this system from beginning to end. The only people who don't know are the people who are currently lost that they want to give them popularity, give them a fake sense of family, give them a fake sense of acceptance when they know damn well that they don't even care about them dudes. They're trying to consume these dudes' pain and spread it amongst the entire populace. They are not trying to make sure that they steer people clear away from these actual issues and circumstances. If they was, it's very clear for you to actually see where they're actually leading these people to. The reason why there is no place to where you can have this conversation about actual progress because progress isn't the goal. Keeping up the conversation is the goal. And keeping these people in a damaged state so that way they can end up with a even further damaged women that they actually destroyed themselves and start having these circular conversations around things that don't matter. This is why you have to be able to kick these people the hell out of here and give tangible solutions and actual things to say to individuals whenever they bring their actual circumstances to you to get you to fight for them. That's what it is. But you have to understand, Presidential Mike, that their productivity piece is stagnating the entire populace. That's what their productivity piece is actually based on. Unfortunately, their productivity piece is based on keeping the woman the center and focal point of the conversation. That's what their productivity piece is based on. They want to follow in the they want to follow Kevin Samuels because even though he's out of here, he was able to moonshot off of counseling and trolling women. Now these dudes are never going to be able to make it that far, but they have something to actually look up to and look forward to. And this is why pretty much that you don't need to be worried about these failed men online. That's why failed men want to look at what you look like and put your actual assets and resources on camera so that way they can divert the conversation from not being able to contribute to moving the conversation towards somewhere else. The only dude, you're already ahead. You're already winning. You're winning by not having the direct experience that these people have. Remember, their greatest strength was not participating in society. Now their greatest weakness is not participating in society. You don't really need these people's help. They know that you don't need their help either. They know that stuff. So at the end of the day, you have to leave these people out there. The only thing they got is SBE, concern trolling, spreading political myths and disinformation, walking around saying stupid shit like if I don't get reparations, I'm not going to participate in the political process. All of this stuff is a cry for help. All this stuff is a cry to reset the conversation around their ignorance. But what happens when nobody gives a shit about you and they move on without you? What's going on, Donald B? What's going on, Elon? But that is where we are, folks. The failed men want to speak. The failed men want to speak for all men. They've always been on that shit. As soon as they got here, all these dudes have failed out of life. All this shit is moonshot bullshit. Just like rappers talking about stupid shit is moonshot bullshit. You know how many people it takes to become this actual superstar rapper in the country? You could end hundreds of thousands of lives, people being on that fucking bullshit before they actually get there. But that's what it is. They do want to shut down the actual men. You know, the black boys and all this kind of shit, all these PhD dumb motherfuckers who come up here specifically to actually come out here and keep up pointless conversation. This shit is deliberate. It's not the women. Donna B, thank you for the file. Super chat. Thanks for all the wonderful information. Yes. And I don't know why people are trying to go at AM1, but I don't think you understand the genius of AM1 though. AM1 can pretty much, in a nicer format, because they're not gonna come to me with that bullshit. Even though they do go to what they think are soft targets, like the dude just split you in half. Split you in half. Like there's really no need to keep going over these conversations as if this shit's new. Keeping it a dumb buck, it's around the actual people who's keeping up these bullshit conversations. Then want to come around and try to have a conversation as if you don't know what the fuck's going on. Like, man, what kind of stupid shit is this? All this because you want to center the conversation around yourself and rehab these conversations because these dudes ain't make no progress? That's what they're doing. They literally are here to make fun of the fact that you haven't made any progress. That's all it is. Still not talking about it. As much as they want to see a man's face, they still don't want to talk about realistic issues. But but wacky world of oh like 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 AM1 would have been stabbed you about 5 or 6 times before you even know that you even fucking bleeding. And I'm like, all right, man, here they go again. Here they go again. I'm like, the dude is not a soft target, man. It's just that look, if you can't defeat my arguments, you're not going to be able to defeat his argument. Way less than getting in the NFL. Iman Perry. Way less. But that's where we are at. There's men who want to shut this shit down. It's your master teacher who has to keep going around lying about 1.0. Even today. Still has to lie about the shit. Why? He has to center the conversation around himself so that way he can survive. There isn't anything that nobody else has to worry about. He has to worry about that. Way more important. Trust me. My brother had a stroke in his 40s, and he's laying up like Jamie Foxx, paralyzed on one side. And we're talking about somebody who's in significant shape, by the way. So yeah, that stuff is important. Oh yeah, yeah. Thanks for coming to Shaka Nulu. Yeah, yeah. But that's what we on, man. Oh shit, got an incoming phone call. Hold on a second. All right, I'm back. Yeah, but that's currently where we at. What's going on, Paul? Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, it's a very good interview. Super Slot 75, our interview I had yesterday. Shout out to him for having me on. You can actually have a conversation and actually move towards some sort of progress if that's what you want. But the problem is that all these people with these disagreements, they can't have a conversation because they ain't got no substance about themselves. And when you ain't got no substance about themselves, the only thing you can do is keep up bullshit because that's what you want, right? But at the end of the day, you have to clean up the concept of the actual black manosphere because these people were supposed to be languishing in these communities. They're not supposed to be getting access to women. They're not supposed to be doing none of this stuff. But at the end of the day, none of these people were supposed to be even here pretending like they wanted to be a leaders of men. None of these people were supposed to be here like that. But that's why you have to be able to take over the concept and start kicking these people out of here. Invite the media in here, invite actual PhDs and doctors in here so that way we can really fix some of this stuff for these actual people. I want to clean these people the fuck out of here. I can't tell you how much I want these people to fuck up out of here by brutal means. But let's do it in a far more legal and logical way. What you do is you bring the government in here, you bring these actual credentialed individuals in here, you explain the actual dangers that these people pose towards society, and do it that way. Because at the end of the day, these people are here to keep up the actual same thing from the last generation. Because a lot of people don't get my anger about what I'm actually seeing here. It's much more than a disagreement. These people actually know better for what they're actually creating. They know what the stats are. They know how long this stuff has been going on. But at the end of the day, they want to create this stuff all over again. Nah, man, I want these motherfuckers gone. But at the end of the day, you have to do it in front of people. You have to show these people how much they don't mean shit to actually impressionable fucking dudes who who actually think that their life can't go on without the fuck nigga being a mainstay in Black America. No, hell no. What you do is you get these people to fuck up out of here, and you create a life without these people. No matter how lonely you feel, you do not do business with these type of individuals. That's the correct thing to do. The correct thing to do is get these dudes up out of here. That's the correct thing to do. There is no woman coming back to the table. There is no SBE that's all of a sudden that's gonna make women drop their infinite bag of dicks. None of that shit's gonna happen. But they actually need you actually focused on your failure with women you ain't supposed to be with, so that way they can have a spot in position. It's very easy to see that if you actually get your shit together and you leave problematic women the fuck alone, they don't have a platform. Because no matter what you see or say, it's about hiding behind popularity of broken fucking men and the damaged women that they're trying to get off the marketplace that they actually destroyed themselves. Because none of this stuff actually operates unless you're a part of it. You don't need to be tuned into these dumbass fucking women talking about how bad black women is and all. No, 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 no. Bad options and actual bad subsegments of women deserve no fucking platform. But at the end of the day, most of these actual simps want to actually hear that black women are bad by black women themselves. Hmm. Yeah, of course they are. That's what it is. But at the end of the day, you could do a hell of a lot more with paid trafficking sources by posting your actual content in other places rather than waiting on word of mouth to get your actual message out there. No, you have to understand that these people are parasites, and they're trying to use these actual men with no experience as their new hosts. These people are not stupid. They are not dumb. They are doing this on purpose. They don't care about these boys. They don't care about these women either. Because if you care about these women, you would simply produce for them much more than the government can actually provide them, on top of the actual productivity piece that they actually have, and it's on them to actually to accept you. And if they don't want to, then you ain't got no deal. There's no real reason to keep complaining about women online. That shit's stupid. What's going on, cynical one? But but that's the, but that's the issue here. That's why my points are irrefutable because it's the goddamn right thing. You can't really refute my actual points. Then again, you have to understand what you're trying to create and who you're trying to create it for. That's vitally important. Because remember, I didn't have a voice in the 70s. I didn't have a voice in the 80s. I barely had a voice in the 90s. That's why I graduated. The 2000 and the teens, but you can best believe in the 2020s, I'm going to make sure that my voice is heard. And we're not repeating this shit at all. We're leaving these people out here. You want to do this type of bullshit? You want to destroy our actual what's left of our fucking culture? Then guess what? You're gonna stay your ass out there. What's going on? Soul provider shit. What's going on, Lorenzo D. Medicine? But that's what it is. We have seen the enemy, and the enemy is us, unproductive men who are doomers because society don't need them anymore. Society don't need penile sprinkler systems and vaginal T-shirt cannons. Well, we already see what the fuck happened in the community with that, right? We already seen what happens when you create kids and you don't give a shit about it. We've already seen that. You've already seen it. And the fact that they would want to try this shit all over again with a new group of broken men, oh, hell to the no, man. But see, like all these people want this community shit. Like, dude, listen, only unproductive people talk about community. We need to get the focus off this community and start putting the focus on the actual individual. Yes. What kind of household are you building? Starting with the productivity piece. What career field are you in? Are you advancing in that career field? Did you choose the right career field? Can you even afford a family or marriage or any of this other shit that you claim that you want? Or are you talking about shit that you shouldn't even be talking about? Again, you're just not going to keep reflecting your actual failure onto other people because you ain't got your shit straight. That's a you problem. Again, my links stay dropped. My email address is in the about section. If you want to come up here and have a man-to-man conversation, it's not that hard. These other people, no links, no nothing. But that's what they own, man. Like these people live this coward lifestyle, man. They live it. They duck legitimate conversations. Because I'm having a conversation to end the conversation. There should be not all this discussion about what is going on here. It's very simple what's going on here. Non-productive people are using broken men and broken women as a flotation device. That's what's being had here. That's what's happening. People who don't offer anything to society outside of this space are trying to be the voice within this space. But that is where we at. And if my father, my grandfather were alive, this would be their full expectation is to restore order and to make sure things operate correctly. Yes, this actual environment here that's also part of the community is also part of our job to make sure this shit operates efficiently and effectively. It's our job to protect these actual people and show them the actual alternative method of what these people are actually offering. That's our job as men. You want order to work? What are you doing to actually contribute to it? I know you want to let the cowards cow, and you think that these people are just all of a sudden going to get this shit together, but I don't buy into that argument. Yeah, man, just get to the money, man. Leave these problematic people alone. All this money you spent on trying to impress people that you ain't supposed to be impressing, man, look, you could have went out and got professional help. Stop dodging professional help. I needed professional help at sometimes too. Shit, I ain't afraid to fucking admit it. But at the end of the day, I'm glad I actually got the professional help that I needed when I actually needed. So that way I wouldn't be turning to alternative sources for actually solving problems. I wanted to solve problems the way they was meant to be solved. I don't want to solve problems with substances or bad advice or hucksters and frauds and cons. Dude, I don't want to do any of that. That's gone low route. But that's where we at, man. You can't keep expecting these people to do this shit for you, man. They don't care about that shit. They care about their own relevance. You're talking about a person who's lost their whole life trying to live up to this fake ass image. You think these people just gonna give that shit up easily? Just like that? Dude, they're not about to give that shit up like that. They will destroy every man and every woman in sight to keep themselves afloat. It's time for these people to start skipping some meals, bro. What's going on, Gemini 605? It's time for these people to start skipping some meals, man. I tell people up front how much I don't like this shit and how much this shit needs to change. If you want a good outcome, if you want a good result. Yeah, I do agree with you. They do. I mean, they cry about avoidable situations. All these situations are avoidable at this point. There ain't no way that you ain't got all the answers to the questions based on these failures here. There's no way you ain't got the answers to all this stuff now. There's no way. The problem is a lot of these people want to fail on purpose. Man, look, you don't want to participate in society. You don't want to get your shit together. That's on you. You shouldn't have a voice, and people should humiliate the fuck out of you the moment you open your mouth. Nobody has time for men who don't understand how shit works. That's a you problem. You don't understand the fucking democracy? That's a you problem. That's not democracy fault. Democracies don't fucking explain themselves to its fucking dissidents. Dissidents have to understand the system one time, understand the history one time, and then move accordingly. Stop worrying about these individuals, man. They can't be saved and they can't be helped. And they shouldn't be saved and they shouldn't be helped at all. They had their chance, man. They really, really, really have had their chance. They had their chance. Their life is actually what they want to actually create. This is what they want to create. These are the results that they want to create. I'm sorry that wanting to create more failed men actually give you power. I'm sorry about that. But we can't let you keep doing this shit, man. And they're doing it on purpose. Bringing bullshit PhDs here, short bus Sundays, stupid ass fucking conversations. Why the fuck you go get a credential? Is this what the fuck you gonna do with your time? All this because you want to maintain your place at the bottom? Fuck out of here. Shit is pathetic. Oh, MOT, you talking down to you. Like, dude, you better be glad I'm just talking. Because if I had my option and choice, there'd be a lot less of these motherfuckers thinking up the plan. But let's do it this way for now. You really don't need their help, man. You really don't need their help. It's called breaking the cycle. You really don't need their help. Yeah, the very men complaining about the women are the very men who don't even need access to women. I say this, man, leave their ass out there. Leave them out there, leave them out there, leave them out there. You don't need their help for anything. You do not need their help. And the actual dudes who actually hang out in these places, let their ass die off. Let their ass die the fuck off. You ain't got to help them with shit. You ain't got to save them from shit. The only thing you got to do is lay out the consequences for their actions, watch them actually walk into it, and you get to the money and you leave their ass behind. Do not let nobody within this space tell you that how men need to come together or how black men need to come together. Don't fucking fall for that shit. What they want to do is they want to hide their bullshit behind your productive ass. That's what they want to do. They actually want to do that. Me, I don't want these people here, period. But if you are going to be here, it's going to be a hard time being here. Yeah, yeah, ignore the truth. That's the only thing you can do is ignore the truth, and nobody gives a fuck about your fake ass fucking comedy shit. What the fuck you got on this productivity piece? What do you have on that? Do you have anything on that? Because that's the primary reason why we're here, right? Is to get our shit together and get out of here. I don't have time to be fighting these actual battles forever. Come on, Marshall. What's going on, Deion Davis? But this is a failed man problem, and only a failed man problem. Man, look, I wish I had all these actual answers to all these questions. I was 18, 19 years old. Man, look, bro, there'd be no telling where I would be at right now if I had all these answers to all these questions. But at the end of the day, like these people want to actually damage and destroy these dudes on purpose. They want to do it on purpose, and they don't mind. They don't mind. Remember, these dudes will keep the bag sociopaths. They don't give a fuck about how many people they're trying to damage and destroy for their actual voice to remain where it is. They don't care about that shit. They don't care about it at all. This is where these people at, though. You're not going to get. No, actually, you know what? They're still talking about women. I mean, they have to talk about women. Like, what else are they going to talk about? Because they have to connect you to an unsolvable issue in order so that way they can stay afloat. They already know that there ain't no way you can solve this woman in society. They already lost to them. You are correct about that. These dudes have the inability to survive. That's exactly what that is. They have the inability to survive, and they want to ride everybody else's back in order to get shit popping. That's what that is. Listen, if you know how much more money I would have made in my life if I had not have just tried to work with unproductive dumbass motherfuckers, bro. Listen, man. Listen, you can leave all these people alone. Listen, the only thing you have to do is look at one person in everybody who follows him. The only thing you have to do is look at BGS Idmore and anybody who would share a panel with that guy. Knowing how much he lies about shit, knowing how much he's not successful with anything in this fucking life, none of that shit. The only thing you have to do is look at one fucking person and the type of people who would tolerate being on a panel or within the presence of this dude. If you can ignore being around that type of shit, there is no end to the type of shit you can ignore being around. Yeah. But that's what they want to do. Again, none of this stuff is weird. You know, just have a Manosphere 1.0 panel where all these people come through and say their piece on the 1.0 piece, and you just end those conversations. So that way, you make the people who are codependent among these bullshit conversations, right? You make the people who's codependent among these bullshit conversations, you make them suffer the consequences of doing so. I'm not gonna lie to you. I want to split this fucking Manosphere up into a dozen fucking pieces. If you want to be a Bravo Alpha November, there's gonna be places for you. You want to get your shit together, you can roll with me. If you've been raised by a whore and BGS it more as your actual father figure, you can go over there and fuck with them type of dudes over there. If you made no actual progress and you actually want to reset the conversation, you got keeping it a dumb buck trying to restart all these conversations that have been had 5 years ago while in the middle of the actual niggas that are a fucking problem, trying to pretend like he's Slick Willie in this motherfucker. Like, dude, listen, nobody's dumb around this bitch, man. Nobody's dumb around this bitch. Listen, if there's benefit, treat them like they did it on purpose. If there is benefit, treat them like they did it on purpose. Hey, Keisha has always been the least of anybody's problems. Just like unproductive men are the least of a woman's actual problems. Women are not worried about unproductive men. Nobody in society is worried about unproductive men. Nobody. Nobody is worried about these dudes. Rather than actually going out here and getting the help that you actually need to get to the productivity piece, they want to get to the wrong type of woman so that way they can keep this cycle going. Hey, pretty decent plan if you already plan on being a failed dude at the end of the day. Damn, that's fucking profound in a motherfucker, man. When you want to help people, you tell them the truth. When you want to help yourself, you tell them what they want to hear. The Black Manosphere has become a way to monetize trauma bonding for BGS. Yep, and the rest is the bullshit PhD staff and actually Tia Son Johnson who think he's slick in the motherfucker sitting in the middle of that. Don't worry about it, Tia Son. I got some doctors coming through here. I'm gonna tell you exactly what the fuck you're doing. Yeah, man. I want these motherfuckers to fuck up out of here. But you got to do the shit a certain way. What's going on, XC? What's going on, man? But yeah, these people are dangerous, man. And it's not the woman. The woman is not even close to being a threat to the actual generalized populace that these men are. Yep. Janitor Clutch, you're right. They're not trying to settle for these women. They're trying to settle for 50-50. They're trying to get drafted to be on their team. They don't want these fucking women. But being on their team, standing in these environments and settling for 50-50 is the best shit they got right now. It is the best deal that they have to actually aspire to. They have to aspire to being a 50-50 dude. This is the highest actual point that they can aspire to at this point is being a 50-50 guy. And yes, you're going to feel pathetic around me. I don't give a fuck about that. Yeah, what's going on, N1? I can't see him. Like, I can't see, what was that? Shakanulu. But that's the problem, man. At the end of the day, doesn't matter what you patent. It don't fucking matter. If you ain't actually doing this shit, taking all this information and putting it in your own life, then guess what, man? Nobody deserves to feel sorry for you at all. Weak men don't need pity. Weak men need to be humiliated and fucking blasted upside the, blasted everywhere that they go. Everywhere that they go, to try to find shelter, need to be something that need to be lit up. Yes, there is no more hiding places among productive men for weak ass dudes who can't pour their own goddamn weight. That's the problem. You can't pour your own fucking weight. So now you need a group of men to hide your actual failure. That's some hoe ass shit. Hey, that's some hoe ass shit. Are we supposed to sit here and keep our mouth closed under some fake ass brotherhood shit so that way you can get your shit off and try to hide in somebody else's group. You weak piece of shit. There ain't no way in the hell I'm gonna let that shit happen on my watch. Fuck that. I'd rather have this conversation so that way I can socialize these people into actually not really having these people around, not really being dependent on these people, not emotionally, not financially, not economically, not spiritually, nothing. What's going on? QB passport flexion. What's going on, man? Yeah, I can't see Citizen Lou as well. I can't see him. I've never been ignoring Citizen Lou when he was here. I just can't see him. What's going on, spawn programmer? Yeah, I don't know what that's about. But yeah, man, I have to get my Mississippi brethren on for an actual fucking interview, man. But that's why this stuff is important. Like, like, like I remember the time that actually AM1 actually super chatted and somebody actually had to show me a screenshot of him super chatting and I still didn't see the shit. But that's where we are, folks. But a lot of these people want to shut down progress. They have to. They don't have any other choice. Because the men got their shit together, and if they left problematic women alone, they have no fake leadership positions. This is why the main job at this point in time, I can't see zone either. I can't see zone either. Nah, 50 is some bitch ass nigga shit. That's what that is. That's where you don't have your productivity 100% together, so you need to leverage your actual resources so that way you can have some in-house pussy. That's some weak ass shit. Weak ass shit. Weak as fuck. That's the problem there, right? A lot of dudes want to hide their weakness behind a whole bunch of shit that don't need to be hid behind. We're multiplying problems that we don't need to multiply, just so that way that a couple of people can stay afloat. But oh no, sorry about that zone. I can see you now. I can see you now. I can see you now. That's what they did, and you got to be honest about that shit. You have to be honest about that. Hold on a second. Jackie Nick Kenobi, peace and Manosphere, brother. Yeah, what's going on? But that's where you got to be at this point. At this point, you just got to be able to highlight these actual issues and tell the entire world, warn the entire planet about these non-productive ass dudes who want to use these kids and these broken women as a flotation device. You have to warn the entire planet. And then you have to systematically take these dudes out. Yeah. What you do is you make them duck. Make them duck my conversation. Make them duck it. Make them ignore that I'm even here in the actual space they call the fucking manosphere. Make them ignore it. Because they ain't got no answers. They ain't got no answers to shit. The only thing they want to do is have conversations about women that don't want them. Here's the thing, they don't want me either. And I'm cool with that. Way cool with it. But at the end of the day, we still got stuff that we need to be doing. Really need to be doing. Yeah, I understand it. I understand it. But at the end of the day, you got to be able to separate from these personnel, man. When you start building that life without these people ideas actually mattering, that's when you win. However, there's a lot of people in here who don't want you winning, who don't want you trying to win either. Because if you win, they're lost. They already lost. I mean, like, how many times are we going to depend on this actual ability for personnel to just stay here and be on this nonsense all the time? At some point, you got to be able to separate. You got to be able to focus. Focus on yourself. It doesn't even take that much right now to get your stuff together. Doesn't take that long. Doesn't even take that long, and it's not even that hard. You just got to have the courage to separate. How much of this nigga is inside of you that you can't separate from? Do you see yourself as one of these goddamn lunatics? Want to keep this bullshit going? Is that what you want to fucking look at yourself as? One of these dudes who want to keep up bullshit conversations because you got to? You ain't got nothing else to do but keep up these bullshit conversations? Doesn't matter how much you try to galvanize the space, still useless. Still useless. That's why you got to be able to separate. Learn how important that this happiness is before you give it away to the wrong person. See, they don't want you to talking about that. You see, they can't talk about the social circle piece. They can't talk about that. They can't talk about actually protecting productive people within the environment. They can't talk about things like that. Why? They're here to consume productive people. That's exactly what they're here to do. They're here to weaken productive people and hand them over to the women that don't need other men. That's what they're here to do. You're right about that. Right now, we're in the age of Reconstruction right now. The age of Reconstruction right now is focusing on the productivity piece, using all the government resources that are available to you, and moving to an actual area that have the actual ability to be able to help you get to the actual money. That's the Reconstruction piece. The Reconstruction piece right now, because the shit's already funded, you just got to move to the appropriate areas so that way you can get this stuff rolling appropriately. So you got to stop looking at it as the government's going to be coming straight to your household and your doorstep and doing shit. The actual stuff has already been funded. So now you can take your ass out there and actually get your stuff straight. Now, if you spend it on the wrong type of woman, that's on you. I don't care about this shit. Those are your problems, and I do not want to hear them. Because you should have enough information on hand to where you don't run into these same mistakes over and over again. But if you do run into those mistakes, that's on you. Nobody should hear this shit. Nobody cares about this shit. And that's what it is, man. It's really not that difficult. At this point, it's not that difficult. But it is very difficult if you're dependent on broken men and actually make sure that you stay afloat. That's when it becomes super hard. Think about it. Change is very easy. It's very easy. If you want it all to change, then you have to change it all. A lot of these people come to the forefront of change, and then they keep making room for all these personnel that shouldn't even be there in the first place, resetting their own progress. Those are not things that you need to be doing. You need to be running all the way to the actual finish line and cross the actual finish line and run a couple victory laps and learn how it is to not listen to these people or have their problems be normal to you. You have to know what it is to have a peaceful ass life, a full bank account, and not needing to spend time or money on foolishness. You need to know how that is. These people are not our experience. They have their own experience that they got to take responsibility for. This ain't got nothing to do with you falling up their path. They're trying to actually live their life through you. They're trying to have two lives to damage. They've already damaged their life. Now they want to damage your life right along with it. By having bullshit conversations, trying to create places to hang out online rather than make the actual progress that needs to be made. This stuff ain't hard, man. I tell you right now, You start being around productive people, they're gonna request your ass be productive and leave all that shit alone anyway. You wanna maintain your cultural identity by keeping these dumbass motherfuckers around? All right, man. All right, man. It ain't gonna work. It's never worked. And you're never gonna get to the top of this actual pile of this mountain to where you don't have to worry about these things. You always got to worry about being stabbed in the back by the same people. You always have to. These things are important, very important. You just got to make sure that you're not a victim of this stuff, because at some certain point, the youth is going to be cleared up of all these problems, and then it's just going to be people stuck in the millennial, Generation X, boomers, if they still alive, camp. And you don't want to be stuck in the middle where you're going through these predictable problems and ain't nobody is feeling that shit. Nobody knows what it feels like to be a child support dude anymore. After a while, it's just a choice. And you got to live with that choice. And you will not socialize your failure among the rest of successful people. Fuck you. You go out there and sit in the cold, sit in the dark. Get your complaining ass away from us with these bullshit ass problems that you could have avoided. You didn't do that shit because you was loyal to this woman. You did this shit because you was disloyal to your fucking self. Too stupid to fucking admit it. Nah, man. Not having it. Yeah, you're definitely correct about that. Because if you're a single mother and an immigrant, you get a place right away. In this country, you get a place right away. You gain priority over a lot of people. See, again, there are things about immigration that you can actually talk about. But these people just want low wage jobs. That's the only thing that they want. They just want an artificial bottom and low wage jobs and not the ability to produce. And they want 50-50. So that way they can be 100% responsible while acting like they're not a part of the actual family unit. See, the reason why I don't talk about these issues is because I don't want these people having more legitimate points about the stupid shit they complain about. I'd rather them just look dumb and look stupid and unproductive and just laugh at them. End of the day, you don't need these people, man. They've had their chance. They had their chance years ago. If this stuff was meant to be fixed, it could have happened years ago. That's currently where we are. Currently where we at. Yes, that's what it is. But these people had kids on purpose. They had kids on purpose so that way they can be able to rewrite the entire community into unproductive and lost people. They did this on purpose. The government didn't tell them to do this. They did this on purpose. They did this on purpose to make things unneededly hard so that way the government can rush in and fix their problems. Shocker and surprise, the government was never going to fix your problems. These were problems that you started. You did all this stuff. And yeah, these people ought to pay a debt and a toll to society for making things worse for us overall. They have to. Otherwise, they're just going to keep causing the same problems over and over again. If they're not out here deliberately getting women pregnant and not taking care of the kids, they're out here socializing the actual men to actually be on some nonsense. It's the same stuff. Same people causing the same problems, same results. Not really that hard. Very easy. Very easy to see. These people want to destroy everything. And they don't really care about who gets damaged or hurt in the process. Because at the end of the day, they got to make sure that people don't get to the money. They got to make sure of that. They got to make sure, damn sure, that they're going to be at the top of the food chain. They got to make sure that your focus is on avoidable is on things that you shouldn't avoid. They got to make sure of that. They got to make sure that they escort you back onto this woman that they damaged and destroyed, knowing full well that she don't give a shit about any of that stuff. These people are not stupid. They know exactly what they're doing. They are not dumb. They have never been dumb. They have never been stupid. They're the ones who are fully dependent on you trying to make a family with people who you shouldn't be trying to make a family with. They're the ones who's hell bent on socializing you into thinking that you got to fix all these problems that they caused in your time with your effort. They're the ones who got to make sure that you do that with your life. They're the ones who got to make damn sure that you got to do this stuff. It's on them. They got to make sure that you fail. They are here to ensure that you fail. That's the only way they can keep their position if everybody fails. Again, there is no white man doing this. There is no Latino doing this. There is no government doing this. There's people who specifically have given up rather than getting their ass off the field. They want to socialize failure as a concept for everybody else. That's exactly what they want to do. And I'm here to tell you the goddamn truth so that way you can adjust to it quick enough. So that way you can see what these people are on. You can see the bullshit that these people are on, man. And be able to make the requisite adjustments so that way you don't be next. These people are trying to turn you into a permanent victim of avoidable circumstances. Avoidable. Taking mad advantage of these unfathered men and these broken fucking women. They're trying to do this on purpose with the express purpose of damaging and destroying everything else that's left while trying to pretend like they're your goddamn friend while doing so. It's nonsense. It's crazy. Trust me, I'm gonna make it my life's work of kicking these motherfuckers out of the goddamn solar system. Fuck these dudes. Yeah, it's gonna be very hard to be a fuck nigga going forward. Your ass ain't producing shit, fucking value and worth. I want to push your ass over there to these unproductive ass pieces of shit. Well, that said, I'm just over an hour, and I got some other things to do today. But I wanted to talk to you people about this patent situation because people are like, oh well, you're president of the Black Manosphere. Does that mean it's gonna be some conflict of interest? Like there ain't no conflict of interest because there ain't no site. There's nothing. He bought the concept and shut the concept down. Sold sold dick pill bullshit and funded other motherfuckers. It's not really that hard. It costs you this. You deserve a mate as fresh as your circumstances. What's going on, C. Iverson? What's going on, Magic Ego? Look, man, you don't have to be like BGS. You don't have to go get a high body count woman and start bragging on stupid shit like that. I doubt that he has a high body count woman, but it's just a simple fact that he keep wanting to socialize you into thinking that you have to accept bottom barrel circumstances. It's just some high foolishness ass shit. Well, I gotta get up out of here. I want to thank the people who super chat. Oh man, from the block for the $5, Jr. for the 4.99, Donald B for the $5, and Jackie Nick Kenobi for the 4.99. I want to thank you people for coming through. I'm the man tomorrow. Things are actually going to be looking up, and you do not need a lot of people with you, by you, in order to make the requisite change that you need to make. You just don't need it. There's no popularity contest. You can't be worried about popularity getting you there when you're old and you're late in your fucking years and you have to socialize failure. So I want to thank you guys for coming through. Make them duck the conversation. Make them duck it. Make them duck the reality. I want to thank you guys for coming through and still supporting my channel. We're going to be going into a way different direction where we're just going to lock these people out. Lock them out, force them into Maggle zones. Force them into Maggle zones, force them into zones where they have to talk about women. That's all you got to do. You can do the same thing everywhere. There are people all over the country who think the same way that we have here. It's just that you just got to reach out and deliberately go after those people to be able to make sure that they stay on the straight and narrow before they end up taking care of these people who don't need to be taken care of. So with that said, I want to thank you guys for coming through. You guys have a really nice rest of y'all productive day. Peace.